Hey, I'm Logan and welcome back to the long drive. Let's get at it, shall we? So, we did discover we cannot do a full, unedited, long cut. YouTube won't allow the length. It's a shame. It would have been epic. I get nobody would have watched it, but it still would have been really cool. The effort wouldn't have been too bad, I don't think, but you never know. Because I have to re download all the episodes, trim off the starts and ends, and we're looking at that being like 100 episodes ish. But it's okay. We left off last time right at 4,000 kilometers. I was a little annoyed. It technically, when we exited out, it showed 3,999 kilometers. So now we're over 1.5. We are more than 4/5 of the way, or 80% of the way done with the drive. Last week went pretty well. We blew through 60 some kilometers in no time at all, it seemed. So it wasn't too bad. This episode, of course, is a week off. Life has just not been kind to me recording this. It's okay. It's just going to take a little longer than expected to get there, but it is okay, guys. We will get there. So, today, I think we might do kind of the same thing, just plow through, see what we can do, see if we can make a bunch of distance, maybe only stop for food, water, which we need some food, and refueling. So I think, see, we're hungry now. So I'm kind of thinking maybe we'll find us a building, we'll get there, clear it out, make sure there's no zombies. If there are, take them down, and then we can eat, refill the van, and go from there. I think that's what we're going to do. Treat it more like we can't just stop on the side of the road. Although, I mean, it's a desert, it's a post apocalyptic wasteland. Why would we not be able to stop on the side of the road to use the bathroom or get some food and water? Oh, bunny in the road. Okay, excuse me, Mr. Bunny. Oh, luckily the terrain right now is conducive to very fast and sustained speed travel. If we were going up a massive hill or down one where we had to be a lot more cautious of the speed, it would take a little bit longer, but it's not too bad. So we can see the road curves over there. Don't really see anything of interest yet, but you never know. Oh, look right there. There's a small building. We're hungry, so we're gonna go ahead and stop here. We'll see if there's any fuel really quick, and then we'll just get right back on the road, kind of like we had planned. Okay, I don't see any zombies. Unless there's one out back. Alright, I think we're safe. There's one of these in the car hauler format. And we're going to stop right here. We're going to hop out. What are you? Are you food? You are a book. You're a motor. There's a autosave. There's something in this one. What is in you? Oh, food. There we go. We are no longer hungry. Alright, so what are you? Hey, there it goes. Oh, you're a shiny radiator. A very shiny radiator. Ooh. Very shiny. You look very nice. Are you better than what we have? Nope, nope, not the bumper. Oh yeah, you are definitely better than what we have. But I don't know. I mean, this guy's holding water well, so I don't think we're going to screw with it. Why mess with it when we don't need to? Alright, so let's come around here. Gas, oil, gas. Oh, I think we moved the water back there. Yep, your water. Alright. Look at us. We're full. And there we go. Our thirst has been quenched. You're 30 liters of gas. Let's go ahead and take you. Make sure there's nothing around. Nothing around. So we are. Oh, there's a bunny out there. He's getting too close. Alright, we got him. He was getting a little close for comfort. Don't know if he would have tried to get us, but he was getting too close for comfort. Oh, all right. So 20 liters. We need 22 more, 20 more, and done. There we go. All right. So we've got 4 liters left in there. Do 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 do. Close that. All right, and we are off. Let's get out of here. Oh, actually, let's get some poops out of the car first. Some of the problems with pooping in the seat while we drive, it just gets everywhere. All right. Full tank of gas, full belly. We're not thirsty. We're not hungry. We're not needing fuel. The radiator's good. How is the engine oil? Ooh, we need some engine oil. We're running quite a bit low, about 3.5 liters low on engine oil. So we definitely want to try and top that off before long. Shoot. Good drive, good drive. So I know last time we talked about doing the last bit in 100-kilometer increments. So it'd be 10 more episodes. I don't know that we're going to be able to do that just because of timing and the way that life works. I don't know. We're going to try it. We're going to find out. If we make it to 100 today, great. If not, well, there's not much we can do. But the way I look at it too, there's no point in rushing. We're having a good time. We're enjoying the drive. Let's enjoy it. Let's let it take its time. We get there when we get there. Now that doesn't mean we want to do, 5 kilometers every week and stretch it out over, 1,000 episodes. But I think doing 40, 50, 60 is acceptable. We don't have to be reaching a full solid 100 every single time. That's a bit out there to expect us to do that every single week. It is what it is. Oh, alright. So I've been trying to get caught up on some movies and shows and stuff. I don't know if I mentioned I finished Suits. It ended. I'm kind of glad it started out really good. Once Mike went to prison, it kind of went downhill for me. I know a lot of people liked the Mike goes to prison arc. I didn't. That's when it went from, and I've said it before, a more here's kind of the premise of the show and an episode of the week, episodic serial format to a here's a continuing season-long story arc. And that's just not my kind of thing. I've said it before. So maybe that was why I lost interest. Who knows? But I finished it, so that's done. It was not too soon. It was. I want to get back into Murder, She Wrote. I really enjoyed it. What I'd seen of it, which, of course, I knew of the show. I mean, it's an older show. But I always knew of it and seen a few episodes here and there and enjoyed it. And then Pushing Up Roses on YouTube here, she started doing some great videos on episodes of Murder, She Wrote and how bonkers they can get. Really made me want to watch it. So I thought, hey, let's go, let's watch it. We'll have us a good old time. So I only made it maybe to season 2. And then other stuff started to happen. And I just didn't watch anymore. But I do want to get... Oh no. Okay, there we go. I do want to get back to it and watch more of it as I was really enjoying it. So I definitely want to get back on that. And then I've been getting caught up on some movies. I watched... What did I watch? Talk to Me. A lot of people raving over it. I didn't care for it that much. It focused too much on the partying aspect and not enough for me on the supernatural element of it. Wasn't my kind of thing. And then I watched Elevator Game. I don't know if it's singular or plural, game or games. Either way, honestly, I liked it a lot better. It was your typical cheesy horror movie, which I love. And so I enjoyed it a lot. I liked it a whole lot more than Talk to Me. And of course, I mean, that's all subjective. It's just my opinion. It's what I thought was better. And a lot of people won't agree with me. A lot of people love that style of movie that was Talk to Me. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just not my kind of thing. It is what it is. But I enjoyed that. And then I'm hearing really good things about Saw. I don't know if they're like stylizing it as Saw X, kind of like the iPhone 10, versus iPhone X thing, or if it's like Saw 10 or Saw X. So I've just been calling it Saw X. I don't know, but anyway, I've been hearing really good things about it, and then it seems good. I want to watch it. I've enjoyed the Saw movies. I know a lot of people don't. Like, it's just torture porn, but first couple especially were really good. And then I think tonight I'm planning on watching The Nun 2, which I'm hearing mixed things on. Some people say they liked it, but not as much as the first. A buddy of mine said he liked it better than the first. I'm hearing some people say it's just bad. It's all over the place. So I am curious to watch it. Like I said, I really enjoyed the first one. For it to be a Conjuring movie without the Conjuring people, I thought it did a really good job. I'm still very confused about the whole casting of Tessa Farmiga, which is, I forget her first name, the lady that played Warren. Shoot, now I can't even think of the actual woman's name. Lorraine Warren. Shoot, can't even think of her name now. Anyway, the woman that played Lorraine Warren, that's her actual biological sister. So I found it very interesting that they cast her, especially when she looks so much Vera Farmiga, that's her name. Especially when Tessa looks so much like a young Vera. And for them to just say like, oh no, it's just a casting decision, they're not the same person, they're not related, it's just we decided to cast her sister. I find that very strange. I'm not entirely sure I believe it, but weird things happen in Hollywood. It's nepotism's a big thing in Hollywood. So it is not outside the realm of possibility. But I am looking forward to it. Whole car just spun into the road. Ooh. That doesn't happen very often anymore. And I am hoping for an update. I know I mentioned it last time, but really hoping for an update soon. I think some people have said they're working on multiplayer, which I find interesting because I do still want to play multiplayer with some people, and we keep talking about it, but it never happens. But I keep hearing people say like, oh, well, they're working on multiplayer. But then I've heard other things say that, no, they're not really working on multiplayer. Multiplayer is for like the devs to test things. And when the game's like quote unquote finished, that it's pretty much going to be removed because multiplayer is not going to be a supported base feature. So it's really interesting. I don't know what they're going to do with it, but I am excited to see where the game goes. I've really enjoyed watching it change and all that, but I think part of that is they haven't changed the core. Like, they've not added any crazy stuff, they've not added ridiculous new things, they've not really changed how things work. They're just building on and making it better and adding quality of life. So like, if you were following along with the Farmville series I was doing that just kind of ended because they made yet another big update and they added like quest lines and this and this and this, it just, until that game is in a place where they're not adding things like that, I can't really just kind of keep going and playing it. Whereas this one, even though there's updates, things are changing, nothing to the core of the game has really changed. I've not had to completely start over and lose everything because they made a big update. I've not suddenly not known how to drive or had things that always worked in the past no longer work because they changed something. So I think that's partly why I've enjoyed this. It's kind of like with Space Engineers. They had a big new update like every 6 months or so, but the core is still there. In general, I don't know of anything I built in the past that wouldn't still work today, but you can always just make things better with what they've added. They don't actively break the past. And I get it from a certain perspective. They're like, it's alpha builds, they're beta builds, nothing is really set in stone, things can change at any time as we learn, what people like, what they don't like. I get it. But to just revamp the entire core mechanic when people have already put hundreds of hours into it is just a little strange to me. Not what I would do, but I'm also not a game developer. I was a software developer for many years. And so I get, you have to change things as the need arises, but at the same time, completely scrapping something and starting over and forcing people to lose everything they've done is a little, it's a little outside my comfort zone, if you will. But I get it. Sometimes the need arises. So I mean, who's to say that, the devs on this game aren't pushing out a new update tomorrow that switches game engines and causes the game to look and feel and behave completely different. And in order for me to update, our now 4,030 some kilometers are gone. It just, it is what it is, as I say a lot. I don't know. Things happen. We can't control them. We deal with them. But anyway. So one thing I was just thinking about, and I don't know if I want to do it or not. There's a rock. So before this episode started, you probably noticed the odometer. I went ahead and reset it to 0, so we knew how far we had went. I'm thinking, instead of tracking per episode 100 kilometers, I'm thinking we leave the odometer where it was. So we went 35 kilometers now. I'm thinking maybe we leave it. So I started going this way because I was seeing twinkling, but I don't know that was actually the road. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, we leave the odometer, and that way we can track it almost like a countdown to what should be the end of the road. So like right now, we went 36 miles. The closer that it gets to 1,000, the closer we are to the end of the road, in theory. I think we might do that. Because then it becomes less of a, let's grind out 50 kilometers, let's grind out half an hour, let's grind out 100 kilometers. We can just get excited. We can watch it counting up as we're trying to get to 1,000. There's a bus. And so we know it's like, oh man, 963 to go. Woohoo, that's all there is. And then we can just watch it get closer and closer to that 1,000 mark and see how close we are to 5,000 when the whole thing is said and done. I'm really hopeful that it's going to be kind of like right at 5,000. I don't know that it will be, just simply because we've detoured so much, we've changed routes. Something keeps flashing out there, and I kept thinking it was the road turning, but I'm honestly not sure what it is. Let me know in the comments if you guys saw it as well, because something kept flashing out there and I thought it was one of the street lamps, but I'm not entirely certain that it was. I don't know. I really don't know what it was. Anyway, so once again, we're driving through the night. This is fine. We've been surprisingly lucky with the amount of big rocks and things popping up in front of us, so that's good. We did hit one cactus and it kind of froze us in place for a minute, but that was about all that happened. So in theory, I mean, doing this, we're not shaving a lot off, but in theory, taking these little detour shortcuts like this are shaving a little bit off. I mean, obviously, as we learned in school, the shortest distance between any 2 points is a straight line. So if we were able to point and avoid a curve, we're going to shave, technically, a little bit off of the trip. Now, is that going to account for us going past the building and circling back to it, things like that? No. There was even one whole episode where I'd wrecked the car, which that was a great episode if you guys remember it. I'd wrecked the car, left I think it was the oil cap off of the engine so the car wouldn't run. Had to get all the way back to that diner. Oh, that was crazy. It's things like that I really love about this game. You get so frustrated and annoyed because you messed up, you did something a little stupid, but you made up for it because you got an adventure out of it. It's kind of like life though, right? If everything just went according to plan all the time, every day was the same, it wouldn't be any fun. It's those adventures, it's the things that come up that force you to take a detour that, stops you at a new restaurant that you really like, or things like that that just happen and change the way that your day went, your night went, whatever, and gives you a story to tell the next day. It's always fun. There goes the moon. Sun should be rising soon. Well, actually, I don't know. It says it's 2 a.m. according to the car clock, which we did change a little bit. So I think now the sun rises at like 6. So we've still got a little bit of night driving to go, but it's not been too bad. We usually sleep through the night, of course, but since we're mainly just driving, I've been more okay with simply driving. We can avoid the rocks easily enough. Yeah, we might miss a building or a crash ship off in the distance, but we've got enough supplies for right now that I don't think it's going to matter. And I think it will be okay. Oh. So yeah, I guess it's about time. Well, I mean, we've still got 1,000 kilometers. We've a little less than 80% of the way there. So maybe it's not quite time. But maybe here in, say, 500, 600, 700 miles, start talking about the return trip. Miles, kilometers. Start talking about the return trip, how we want to do it, if there's anything you guys think we should do different. I know in the past we talked about mods, things like that. I'm not huge on mods, but if that's something you guys want to see, let me know in the comments. We'll talk about mods. We'll kind of see which ones are cool, which ones aren't, how we get those installed. I know you have to like join the Discord and do something to get the mod downloader. It's not like just going to the workshop in Steam or like Nexus mods, things like that. So it's a little bit more complicated. But yeah, think about it. We've got a few miles before you have to decide, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, just be thinking about it. If mods are something you think you might want to see, if you know, hey, I played the game, there's this great mod that, you know, makes you, I don't know, have to do something more often, like you can't poop in the car, you have to find an outhouse to poop in, or challenges like that. You know, maybe we can't sleep in the driver's seat, we can't sleep drive. You know, we have to find a way to bring a bed or a chair with us so that we can sleep, and we can't sleep until that happens. You know, we can't carry 55-gallon drums of gas. We can only carry one jerry can. You know, maybe some small challenges like that. Things that will make it a little bit more interesting. There is a ghost house. The road curves around it, and we are as well. I don't want to go anywhere near the spook house. It is spooky season. Which, speaking of, they should at least... the jack-o'-lanterns should start showing up in-game again soon. Which, if you remember, last year we found a couple and we stuck them on Christine's fins, and they stayed on Christine for a long time. Which, I'm a spooky guy. I love spooky season. I love Halloween. I love fall in general. So for me, the spooky updates are always one of my favorite things that a game can do. Alright, so they turn the street lights off, which is a bit of a bummer. That really helps us see as we are attempting to crisscross. But I do remember seeing that we should be able to head in about a straight line and run into the road. Gotta pay attention though, because we don't want to get too... yeah, there it goes. Actually, it looks like if we kind of aim right here, we can cut right over the road. It goes to our right and then kind of curves back and meets up with us straight ahead. So we're going to shave a little bit off. Again, it's not going to add up to much, but in the grand scheme of things, fuel economy and distance, it will add up eventually. So we got a couple of guard towers. Nothing crazy interesting, so that's fine, not a big deal. Nothing really interesting. I don't see any rocks popping up in front of us. There's one, no cactus. So man, we just get to cruise for a second. This is nice. Oh, this is real nice. We're just cruising straight forward, full speed ahead. Was it about 150k an hour? Yeah, a little over 150k an hour. So we are cruising. We're burning through some fuel, but that's okay. Whoop. There we go. Get back on the road. Wow. Well, this has been a relatively uneventful drive. Which, I mean, I'm here for it. I know for some of you guys it's probably a little boring. You're hoping for crashes and kabooms and explosions. But from my perspective, going fast, making some distance, not having to chase parts over the plains or the desert, whatever, this is pretty great. I'm here for it. This has been... Oh, there's something out there. What is that? Is that just a rock? I think it's just a rock. This has been great. This has been great. Huh. Well, today is not Friday or Saturday. Today is actually Thursday. My birthday is actually on Saturday this year, so I'm recording this episode today in a little bit of downtime that I have, not much. But I want to make sure I could get this episode done and out to you guys, since I did miss last week. But yeah, it's my birthday, so we'll go ahead and get this one done and out there. Don't really have anything crazy planned, but I know I'm not going to have time to get this recorded and out on Saturday morning like I usually try to do. So I want to go ahead and get it done today, knock it out for you guys real quick. And oddly enough, we've already went over 60 kilometers, and we're just now closing in on about half an hour. It's actually really hard to stop right now because we have such a nice long stretch of straight flat road, and we're already going so fast that I really don't want to lose the momentum. So we might just kind of keep chilling and driving for a few minutes. Luckily with this game, the way I do it, it's just long form, mostly uncut. But the only time there's cuts in it is like if I have to get up for any reason, you know, so there's a knock on the door, phone rings, things like that. I will of course have to step away, I'll pause it, come back. But that is generally pretty rare. I try to time the recording and playing of this game while I have downtime where nobody should be coming by, phone shouldn't be ringing, things like that. But of course, the unexpected does happen. Avoid the rocks. But, you know, it's generally really easy to edit. Make the intro screen with the updated text for this week's episode. Outro's the same every week. I don't even know how many people actually watch the outro, if anybody. I might start adding in some kind of joke or something at the end just to see if anybody catches it and has actually watched the outro. It'd be kind of funny. I mean, it wouldn't do anything. It'd just be a little funny on my part. But, yeah. And then, I mean, any cuts that I need to do if I have a coughing attack or, like I said, you know, if I have to pause it for any reason, whatever, then, yeah, edit those out. The rest of it, adjusting the audio tracks, trying to make the intro and outro okay-ish for, you know, like headphone users and speaker users, stuff like that. So I know some of the early episodes people said, like, the intro was really good, but the outro was super loud. So trying to balance all of that out to where it's a really relatively consistent audio level. It's hearable, listenable. It's not blowing somebody's eardrums out if they have, you know, earbuds tucked in at night, whatever. Things like that. But it goes pretty quick. I mean, editing this one is not much at all. Trying to edit the Hydroneer episodes was a lot more, because those were more, here's the thing we're going to do. Okay, we did the thing. Here's what we're planning. Here's what we did. And just kind of keep going with all of that. So that one took a lot more editing, a lot more effort. These, relatively simple for me to edit, slice together. Not bad at all. Dang, look at that. We're already at about 70 kilometers. Whew. Not bad at all. Unfortunately, I have something in about 15 minutes, which means I am not going to be able to probably knock out a full 100 today. We're pushing 30 minutes anyway. I'll tell you what, let's go for another 5-10 minutes. Let's call it 10 more minutes. So we're sitting at 69.5, so hang on, let's see. Let's wait until we get to 70, which is which is 70, which is now. So 10 minutes. Alright, so on OBS, that'll be 42.50. So let's go 10 more minutes. We'll see how far we can get. We know we started at 70. We'll see what 10 minutes gets us. Which should be a decent little amount, because honestly, if we can do 50, 60 kilometers in half an hour, we should be able to do another 20, which means we should be getting really close to that 100 kilometer mark today. A little bit of a longer episode, but we've got a good flow going. We've got a good rhythm and pacing, and this will kind of make up for me missing last week, since we normally do half an hour, 50 kilometers, somewhere fluctuating in that area. So if we can hit about 90 kilometers in about 40, 45 minutes, that's really kind of 2 weeks episodes. I mean, I could split this in the middle and pick right back up. I'm not going to do it. This is going to be one long continuous episode, but now I won't lie, there have been times where I filmed episodes back to back. Like, I had the time, and so I filmed an episode, I stopped it and picked up immediately, and then pushed those out week after week, just because I had the time and I knew I wouldn't the following week. One thing that would actually be really interesting to kind of do, oh, there's a Beetleborg, would be to kind of attempt, oh, I almost lost it there, is, good Lord, I completely lost my train of thought with that bump in the road, is to attempt knocking out a bunch of these in one day. So like, just block everything out, turn my phone off, whatever, and just sit down and try to knock a bunch of episodes out in one day. That way I can have something for the foreseeable future, and even if something comes up, I can just keep making the next episode, even if you all haven't seen the previous 5. But it's still there, it's in the queue, it's lined up and ready to go until we reach the end of the road. Oh. Shoo. Which, I mean, we're getting close. We are getting close. I mean, we're at 75 kilometers, and it's been like 2 more minutes, 3 more minutes. So, not bad. I mean, we're making good time, we're making good effort, so I think we're doing okay. If I can knock out, say, 3 or 4 of these episodes in a day, get them edited, ready to go, boom. I could be done with the series 2 weeks before you guys even knew it. And the funny thing is, you would never actually know. I might actually be done with the series by the time you're watching this, but you don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna be, because it's Thursday, you're gonna see this on Saturday. I know 100% for a fact I am not gonna have the time to go another like 925 kilometers-ish and record and talk and edit all of that in the next day and a half. It's not going to happen. So you can be assured that that is not a thing. But after that, you never know. Maybe I just empty the house on Sunday, I throw the cat away, and say, everybody, leave me alone. I won't be answering any calls, texts, emails, nothing. Leave me be. And I knock it out. Who knows? I know it's not going to happen. You don't know that's not going to happen. Oh, all right. Man, we are still making good time, good speed. Van Helsing has been chugging along like a champ with Christine's engine. Avoid the rock and get back on the road here in a second. But yeah, they've been chugging along this Van Helsing Christine hybrid that we've got going on. Been chugging along amazingly. We're making some good speed, some really good progress today. Look at that, 80 kilometers. And we're still chugging. We've got about 5 more minutes. So I think I said 32.50. Yeah, 32.50, I believe. So we're going to 42.50. So that means we've got about 5 more minutes, a little over. And we've already went 10 kilometers. So 10 kilometers every 5 minutes. That sounds about rightish. That sounds about right, especially considering we've been pushing 150k an hour the whole time. So I detoured over this way. Oh, and then the road goes that way, and then we can see it kind of way up there in the distance. So I think we're just going to take a straight line from about right here. And we're going to go about as straight as we can. We're going to meet back up with the road. I don't know if you guys can see that way out there in the distance. If you do not have this on full screen, you might not be able to see it, maybe now. But way out there in the distance, we can see the road. So we're just going to take a nice direct route and head straight for it way out in the distance. Now again, how much this is actually saving as far as distance, yeah, I don't know. It's not going to be much. I mean, we're not saving 30, 40K by any means. We might be saving 1 or 2K. Oh, nice thing about this time of year is, with it being close to my birthday, all the apps, all the emails, all the companies, it's your birthday, here's something for free. I mean, if you really signed up for everything, we're talking like Burger King, McDonald's, all the fast food places, your sit down, chains like Olive Garden, Chili's, Applebee's, things like that, you could probably go and eat 2 days worth of meals and desserts completely free through all of these places, just throwing free things at you. Because of course it's their hope you come in, you're not just gonna get, the free French fries. You're gonna say, oh well, I need a drink to go with my fries, well let me buy a Coke. Well, now I've got a Coke and fries, I might as well spend the extra, $4.99 on a Big Mac. Because I got the fries for free, I'm not paying for the whole meal. Oh, well now I'm just, paying for the Coke and the burger. So that's their hope. It's kind of the same thing with gift cards. Honestly, the guy that came up with the idea for gift cards is a bloody genius. Because think about it. Say I go out, I buy my mom a gift card for Bath and Body Works. I give her a $50 gift card. One of 3 things is going to happen. Most likely. So, $50 gift card, I give it to mom, birthday, Christmas, whatever. And I say, Mom, here you go. Happy birthday. Here's a $50 gift card to Bath and Body Works. There's only a handful of things that's going to happen. I said 3, but I think it's closer to 4 or 5. So let's count them out right. So, she forgets about it. They put an expiration date on it. It gets lost, whatever. Well, they just made $50 and no inventory loss. I just handed them $50 for nothing. 2, she gets it, she goes in, and she doesn't want to spend any money, so she makes sure tags, she's not buying a car, tax, everything comes up to under $50, even if it's $49.98. Well, they're only out $49.98 worth of product. They just got 2 cents for free. That's going to add up. Or she goes in, option 3 says, well, I've got it, and there's some other stuff I want. So I'm going to go and get the other stuff I want and get $50 off. Well, they got their $50 already, and the money that she was going to spend on top of it. So if she wanted $65 worth of stuff, they're, again, not out anything. They're just really breaking even. They've sold $65 worth of goods for $65. And then option number 4, she comes in and says, oh, well, I really want this stuff, but I'm here. Oh, see, that was one of those pauses I told you about. Oh, alright. And then option 4, of course, is she hadn't planned on going in, but she finds stuff that she wants, ends up being over $60. So instead of putting it back because, she has an extra coupon or it's on sale, whatever, then she spends more than she ever would have anyway because she hadn't planned on going in. I think they says to the tunes of like hundreds of millions of dollars that companies quote unquote make every year simply because gift cards, they get lost, they don't all get used. So the guy that made them is a bloody genius. But we have went over our time a little bit, so guys, I think we are going to call it here. We made it almost a solid 100 kilometers. We are 6 shy of making 100 today, so that is fantastic. I'm going to take it. It was a good time. I enjoyed it as always. I hope you guys did. If you did, let me know. Leave a comment. If you didn't, let me know. Leave a comment. Anything helps. Anything that can help me make better episodes for you guys. So, guys, as always, I'm Logan. This is The Long Drive, and I will catch you next time.